Hi everyone, I'm just doing something a little bit different today for my video, so I'm going to do a hot chick 10-minute challenge. So self-explanatory, the goal is to walk around in hot chicks for 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to kind of just talk to you as we do that, intermittently if people end up walking by, I guess. So anyway, let's get started. Just walking down some streets in this small town, so we may have some breaks for lights or if people walk by or anything like that, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know. So I am walking in the hot chick. This is classified as a 130 millimeter Louboutin heel, although since I wear a 40 in these, the heel is actually closer to 140. So they're an extremely difficult shoe to walk in. A lot of people say that they're kind of like a bedroom only heel, but I obviously wear them out and about, as you can see. They are still difficult for me to walk in, even as somebody that walks in heels kind of day in and day out. The pitch is very steep on them, and one of the other things about them that I think makes them so difficult is that the toe box is a bit cramped, and I don't know why, because if you look down at the toe box here, I'll see if my guy can kind of show it off. So yeah, the toe box here is pointed, but it's much more of a Pigalle kind of toe box versus a Socate toe box. So it's not as long, so you would think that it would actually be better for your toes, but for whatever reason, it is not. It is very uncomfortable. And I think part of that is a function of just your foot is so pitched forward in the shoe that you really, a lot of times, end up cramming those toes down into that point. So that is not always the most comfortable thing ever. The other thing about these that is my main complaint when walking in them, and you can probably see it as I walk too, is that there's a little bit of a gap. There's a little bit of a heel gap. And I think the heel is just a little bit too wide. It doesn't necessarily really grab on to the foot as well. So I'm gonna go this way since there's a lot of people coming. So yeah, as you can see, you can probably see it in the video too, I do get just a little bit of kind of the shoe flopping on and off my foot. So I do have to work extra hard to kind of scrunch my toes in on these shoes and really keep it on. So that's another thing about them that is kind of difficult. I still love them though. I think they're a super beautiful shoe, and I think that they are so sexy, and especially if you see somebody walking well in them, I think it's just a shoe that is amazingly sexy on the foot. It is really hard to get your knees straight in them. I know when I first started wearing them, I was not super good at keeping the knees straight, but I'm a lot better now. Not perfect, but better. It is extremely hot here in Ohio today. We've really had a hot summer, a hot and humid summer. So the other complaint from me this time of year when wearing heels is that my hands and feet sweat quite a bit when I'm warm. So eventually the heels just get just moist inside, and that also can kind of contribute to blisters or something like that. So something that I try to do, if I remember to, is like put just a little bit of powder on my feet, or something like pre-heels, which I've reviewed in other videos, so that can kind of help save your feet from getting blisters and stuff like that. All right. Photographer slash videographer slash husband is still smiling, so that must mean we're doing okay. I am walking on sort of uneven ground here, so I guess my one tip for if you're walking in heels that you're not used to is to make sure that you're taking smaller steps than you're used to, and to also just kind of make sure that you're really tightening up your legs and feet so that you're able to walk more gracefully. I'm fairly confident that hot chicks have never walked in this neighborhood before. All right, so since I'm at a corner, we'll kind of give them like a little bit of like a pain score, I guess, while I'm standing here. I'd say the pain right now is like a 2 out of 10. It's not bad. These shoes very quickly ratchet up the pain. There will be a point where the Achilles on the back of my heels really starts hurting. That's kind of where I reach my limit and need to sit down, but so far so good. I don't know how many minutes we've been going for. Photographer man thinks maybe 5. So yeah, not so bad. I guess, do you want to like film me going across once cars are done? So we'll film me walking across. I'll just kind of show you guys off these shoes until I thought there was a car coming, but maybe not. All right, I guess we can keep going, maybe. So I'm gonna film kind of crosswise in this crosswalk. That way you can see the full shoe. So yeah, I would say the 2 places that I really feel the pain in these shoes is the ball of my feet and then the ankle. And like I said, it's usually the ankle that makes it much more difficult and is usually kind of my limiting factor in when I'm walking and stuff like that. It's super hot out here. So these are a shoe that you really need to watch out for, like cracks in the cement or bricks, because you can really kind of rip the toe cap off. Trying not to disturb people's lives while doing this. So I'll tell you guys something cool that we've been researching, which is researching getting a custom hot chick done through the boutiques. So if there's still a style around that they can make, they will sometimes make it for you, and you can request what kind of leather. Almost went in a crack there. So what I really want is a hot pink pair of hot chicks, which were out a few years ago, but I only bought the black. So I'm hoping that we can get that done. I'll be super happy if we do. And like I said, I'm hoping to get those in a 40, although I do kind of wonder if I should get them in a 39.5. You can kind of see here like how it's just a little big. My foot really comes out super easily with these, so it's a little frustrating to walk in them like long term. Still doing okay. I'd say pain is definitely more up to like a 4 out of 10 right now. It's not awful, but you can definitely feel it. There's a lot of, you can probably see this, there's a lot of like side to side movement of my ankle in these, and that's what's hard. So it's good. I think it is kind of like a workout, but it also isn't the easiest. I think the longest that I've ever walked in these has been a mile or so. I don't know if we'll get quite to a mile in this today, but we should get, I mean, at least half a mile in, which is cool. I'm always really proud when I wear these out. I do have these resoled and retipped. I felt like when we got the new tips put on, that it almost made the pitch even worse, because I think our cobbler puts on a like more industrial tip. And I did get some questions from people about why I don't put tips on my own shoes. I do. If they come with the shoe and I already have them, I will put the tips on myself. It's not hard to do. You know, you just have to pull the tip off and then gently hammer the new one in. But a lot of times what happens is that I need both a tip and a resole. And so I just take those to the cobbler. It's not expensive for him to put the tips on, and I actually like the tips that he uses better than the stock. And you can kind of see that here. These tips are just a little bit thicker, and I actually haven't had to get tips put on since, do you want to go this way? Yeah, okay. I haven't had to put new tips on since I got them retipped at the cobbler. I also did have somebody ask me the other day if I've ever had to resole a resole, and the answer is no, although I will have to pretty soon. I sent a couple shoes off to my shoe hospital a few years ago, and their resole has not been the quality that I can get here in Columbus at my cobbler, so I haven't been super happy with that. So one of those pairs, the Ariza, the new Ariza, the sole is actually starting to peel off. I had to do some shoe glue on it myself, but that's only going to be a temporary fix. This is a workout. A really cool Porsche just went by, and there's one over here, so we're having a good time now. We did drive the Porsche here today, which is always fun. And for those of you that like to see me out in public, there are a ton of people driving by right now, so I'm sure you'll like that. Try and get you guys some side shots here. Still doing pretty good. I could still go for a while in these. I'm always happy to sit down after I've had these on, but you can definitely go pretty well in them once you've practiced. And the higher you go, like the harder it is, yeah, for sure. But you also just kind of get used to it, which is a good thing. Pose a little bit for you guys. I would say at this point in the walk, my feet are getting very warm, but that's also because it's like 90 degrees and super humid out. So that's also part of it. These are also at this point like very well broken in. So like if I was doing this in a less broken in pair of hot chicks, if I happen to have the other pair, it would be a lot more difficult by now. It's still difficult. Trying to look as graceful as I can for you guys. All these are just not the easiest to walk in. I've had people ask as well. I'm trying to think of all the questions I've ever gotten about hot chicks. No, I have not worn these to work. I am sure that everybody would be super pleased if I did, so maybe I will one time just for fun. But my building is very huge and I have to walk a lot, so it's really not a very practical shoe to do that in. Although I guess we don't wear high heels for practicality, or at least I don't. So that's another thing. So this terrain is very rocky all of a sudden. It's not the easiest. I'll be happier to get onto the smoother concrete here. The other thing I really like about hot chicks is that the toe cleavage is fantastic. I don't know if they just like designed them for that, but you can really see my one ring. I've pulled my other toe ring out closer to my toenails earlier, so you can't see that one right now, but I promise it's still there. I do wear my toe rings 24/7. I can change them out, and I do. I have a lot that I rotate, but I usually keep them on for a few months. And they're just silver, so a lot of time, like the silver's pretty soft, so they kind of end up molding to your toes and become a lot more comfortable, because like a perfect circle is not comfortable at all. It really hurts, especially in like a pointy-toed pump like this, but I can't feel them like at all right now, so that's good. Showing off some side views here while we wait to cross the street. We're definitely kind of an oddity in this town right now, like just with this camera and microphones and stuff. All right, here we go. These things are the death of me. I hate to walk on these. They're super duper complicated. Pain is definitely getting worse now. It gets to the point where I feel like my foot bones are getting crushed. I know that's not what's happening, but it is kind of what it feels like. Still happy though. I'm not sure if you can hear all the bugs on the camera, but it is mid-August right now, which is like one of my favorite times here. I don't really like the super duper hot and humid heat of this time of year, but I love the bugs, and I love like all of the garden tomatoes and stuff that are coming out. I have a garden, so I'm always really happy when this time of year rolls around and we get a ton of produce. And I also just really like, I kind of like the quiet later summer, and I like how it goes into a really nice fall here with, you know, beautiful leaves and that kind of stuff. Let's stop here and show them off. Definitely looking forward to fall as far as fashion goes, because I really like jackets and I like to wear sheer black pantyhose, and all of that stuff is definitely too hot this time of year. So, gonna go this way. The other thing that's hard in these, and you can probably see, inclines. So going down just makes the shoe that much harder. Huh? Oh, model walk. I'm supposed to do a model walk. Okay. I'm going uphill in them, so it's a little bit easier. I'll go downhill too. Since it's part of a challenge, I should do the hard one. So I'm model walking, which means, like put your feet in a straight line, like you're on the balance beam. It's always fun to kind of show shoes off this way. I think we've hit over 10 minutes, maybe. It's awesome. I'm always happy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I guess final pain rating, probably like a 5 out of 10. I don't feel too bad right now, so I could definitely go longer, which is super cool. So if you guys like this video, maybe we'll do 20 minutes next time or something like that. So yeah, definitely it's doable. I would recommend if you do have hot chicks and you're having trouble walking in them, to start in 120 millimeters. So start in a Soak 8 or something. Get yourself really good at walking in a Soak 8. And then walking in a 130 is the next logical step up from that. So it's definitely doable. It's not always easy. I don't get a perfectly straight leg walking in these, and that's something that I've actively been working on. I do try and train myself in heels and keep myself in really extreme heels like this so that I can continue to walk in better ones and walk better for everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this challenge video. I wanted to give a special shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. We are growing every month, which is super awesome. We do tons of content on there. They're super fun to talk to. So if you would like to kind of see more of behind the scenes and some slightly racier shots, please join my Patreon. If you just want to support me, you can start at just $1 a month, up and upwards from there. So I thank each and every one of my patrons. Check me out on Patreon if you haven't, and then check me out on Instagram at Engineering in Heels. I'm going to go get in the air conditioning and cool off, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.